afternoon, and welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Leigh Kubin, Master Certified Life Coach and Mindset Coach.
I'm Sandra Priestley. I'm a business and branding coach and a feng shui practitioner. Welcome to Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Yeah.
We made it.
I know, we did. Today I am drinking sparkling water again.
Out of a can.
Yeah, out of a can, because the can is cool. Blackberry bubbly.
Yum. It's
or
buble.
And I am drinking it with my fancy square, big, huge square ice cube, which I just think is
adorable.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
What kind of badass.
Yeah.
I am drinking a Sicilian rosé. And it's like 90 degrees here right now.
It's so crazy because I'm going to check, but it is like the opposite of that here up in Canada. So it's 90 degrees there in February and it's minus 47 or minus 37 Celsius here. So I'm just going to Google what is minus 37 Celsius. I feel like I need this in like all ready to go every single day here, just on my website to see, because I'm constantly changing it. So, but yeah, it's like around minus 30, I think, Fahrenheit. Like it's crazy. I know. It's so nuts.
Well, when we wrap up, I am going to meet my girlfriends at one of their homes, and we're gonna dip in the pool. So that tells you what kind of weather we're having here.
Like I just can't even believe it. Yeah, I just look, okay, it took me forever, but it's minus 35 Fahrenheit.
That's insane.
I know.
But there is this big blizzard blanketing part of the country right now, and it's the part that's kind of attached to you.
Oh, this is probably it. I have faith. It's always gonna, the cold days, they always turn warmer.
Mm-hmm. And here a little warmer than
normal.
Or that you would prefer.
Yeah. So tell me how your week was.
Oh, I had a good week. I had a busy, I've got to stop saying that. Okay. I've got to get out of the habit of saying busy. It was a full week. I caught myself getting a little overwhelmed at times because there were so many things that I needed to get done.
Right.
And I kind of got tired of my own bullshit too.
Oh,
and it's like, yeah, it's like enough. Like, write it down if you can't do it right now. And if you have 2 minutes to take care of it, why don't you just knock it out and be done with it instead of making lists, going back, carrying on about your day, and then just do things in the moment. When you get the nudge, act. If you don't have time to act, write it down. So
and we can spend a lot of time and energy thinking about doing the dang thing
instead of just doing the dang thing.
I could spend all day long thinking, oh man, I have to clean the bathrooms. I don't really want to clean the bathrooms. I don't really want to do the laundry. I don't want to and you can just walk in and do it in 5 minutes.
It's like Mel Robbins. I think it's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing that she does, where you say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and you go.
Exactly.
And so that's been my week, because I do have quite a few more things on my plate, but they're all amazing things. And, today was great. I saw patients in the morning. I did a group at noon. I had a coaching consult at like 1:30. Like I have just been on, but this is what I want.
Yeah.
There's no time for boredom. But I had a consult this week that was so interesting and eye-opening because she totally came to me for weight loss. She's like, I've got to get this weight off. I will do anything to get this weight off. I'm miserable. I'm fat. I'm 50. I've got these teenage kids that are driving me insane. I've got this husband, and she is, I'm menopausal. There's all of these reasons. And so I'm like, well, just walk me through your day. What kind of things are
Mhm.
you eating? And she's eating great, like lots of protein and veggies.
Mhm.
And I'm like, are you snacking? Nope. And I'm going, this isn't making sense. Like this might be a hormonal something.
Right. I
So
feel
we're
like her and I right away, we can join a
well,
support group. Did you think of that?
you need to call Sandra. Um,
She'll make you feel not alone.
she'll be, I know.
Mhm.
Um, but then she goes, well, I might ought to tell you,
Oh.
I drink a lot of wine.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, well, there it is.
I had a doctor one time tell me that if I maybe the problem was that I didn't drink enough
Oh,
because my stress was too high. That's a side note, but okay, yeah,
uh-huh.
empty calories.
So I'm like, well, if you want to get this weight off, you're gonna have to give up the wine. Like I said, I really can only do wine about once a week because of the amount of sugar in it.
Right.
And I can't tell you how many bottles that I open with us that don't get finished.
I know.
It's like
Mhm.
at least when they're a rosé, you can throw them in the fridge, but those red go bad
They
quick. But
do.
anyway,
Yeah.
so we started talking. She's like, is there a pill I can take? Not for
Mm.
weight loss, but to stop drinking wine and to not care about all the drama in her life.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe a psychiatrist can help you with, that kind of a thing.
Anxiety and stress. Mhm.
And it was interesting because she was just like, help me. So I was asking her, what do you do for fun? There is no fun in my life. Well, do you want there to be fun in your life? Well, yeah, but I've got this and all the excuses.
Mhm.
And I keep asking her questions, and I'm like, 50s or our 50s are amazing. This is our time. This is when we have learned all of this information over all of these years. Isn't it time we use it? Why do we get to 50 and say, oh, it's over. Oh, I'm done. I'm in menopause. I'm overweight. I've got these kids and this husband that make me crazy. Why
Mhm.
are we missing out on life and being miserable instead of showing up and saying, what am I going to learn today? What am I going to create today? How am I going to show up as a badass today?
Right. Mhm.
So I'm kind of talking to her like that, and she's just looking at me. And then all of a sudden, it's like light bulb. It was because you never know where these conversations are going, especially when people don't really understand what you do.
Yeah. I love
Um,
that moment. I
yes,
love that moment with coaching clients, and I call it the click moment.
yes,
Or like Oprah calls it the aha moment, right?
mhm,
But I call it the click moment because it's like literally you can almost just see their brain click. It's
yes.
like click. Oh my gosh, everything is clear.
I told her something that no one had ever said to her, or that she had never been in a space to hear.
Right.
But I am so excited
Mm.
to see what she does.
Yeah.
The weight isn't going to matter in a few weeks. I'm sure she'll be working on it. But I
Mhm.
think she was more excited about the thought that she has created this in her life right now
Mhm.
and that she can choose something different.
For sure.
And I think that is her excitement.
And this is, you say this a lot where it's like, you start the process now. Like you can have fun now. You can live now. And too
Mhm.
often in the weight loss world, it's like, what's your goal? Let's focus everything you've got on hitting that goal. And once you hit that goal, then life will be better. Then you can have fun. Then you can purchase the nice clothes. Then you can do all these things. Then you're going to be able to go out. Then you're going to be able to be more confident, instead of how you talk about it is like, nope, we're just going to make changes right now. And the weight's not going to matter. That's going to be like a byproduct of healthier changes and being happier in your body, in your skin.
Because the weight is an excuse to not show up in life.
True.
Just like the house or the car or the lover or the whatever it is that we're holding out in front of us going, I will be happy when I have this.
Right. You know, one time I said to a client, how much money, because like she was very focused on money. And I just need this much money. I need to be successful. And I said, so how much money do you feel you need to make in order to feel success? Because as soon as we can identify that, then like, let's just hit that. But in the meantime, because it's like, in the meantime, let's just have fun now. But, that'll be our goal. Okay, sure. But like, let's step into the person that you want to be right now. Yeah. Manifestation is like that, right? Like,
well, and if you
just have fun right now.
Yeah. And if you were behaving like the person making X number of dollars per month, then do the things that person would be doing every day.
And then you vibrate at that frequency.
And then that's where you're vibrating. So of course, that's going to be the next natural step.
Exactly.
And it's so predictable, but we think, no, I've got to hold myself here until I get there. Well, you can't get there if you're holding yourself here. And that's what I love that is about all of this coaching, is that it's all the same subject.
Yeah.
You pull out weight loss and you put in business, or you put in lover, or you put in whatever.
It's true. Well, and I remember like a lot of my coaching clients too. I work with women who are multimillionaires, and I work with women who have a very limited budget. And what I often notice is the women with the limited budget feel more restricted and like they have more problems than the women who have multi-millions. And it's just not the case, because the same sort of feelings, we all have the same feelings of inadequacy in some areas that we want to work on.
Yep.
Maybe not money, but it might be in different areas than the person with a limited budget.
Yeah.
We're all with money, so the same at the core.
Yeah. They don't have the money issues.
Right.
But there's other issues.
Exactly.
And
when we drill it down, it's the same.
Yeah.
Like, and what I love about being in a group coaching container is that they start to notice it. Like, we're so much more the same than we are different.
Yeah, we separate ourselves and think they're better, or, there's all of that bullshit that we talk about. And if we would just talk to people, we would realize, we're all the same.
And get into different groups, right?
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to be in a group of like-minded people, but it's another thing to get and I do say that, like-minded meaning wanting to improve upon yourself every single day. That's what I mean, like-minded. But we tend to stay in our little circle of safety.
Yeah.
And so we stay in with the same group of people who all have money issues, and then wonder why we have money issues, or feel so separate from someone else who may not, right? But when we get this really cool cross section of women together, all of a sudden it's like, oh, we have more in common than we think.
Yeah. It's that light bulb that goes off.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my gosh. What a cool week.
I know. And in my group this week, in my weight loss group, we met this week, and when our first week was last Monday, and I was really telling him in the beginning, I know some of your goals are going to be weight loss, but I encourage you to look for different goals, because that's not where the magic is. And that's not necessarily what I want you to get out of this course.
Right.
And they just looked at me, and then I let it go. And I thought, they're going to do what they need to do, but I have planted a seed. So all week in the forum, I've been putting little Canva posts with, things to think about. And none of it has to do with weight. I'm saving that for next week.
Right.
When I talk about there's no magical number on the scale.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got these women talking. And even though initially they were like, wait, everything was about weight. I'm like, nothing's about weight.
Yeah.
They have started talking about how they're feeling and really what they're going through and breaking down where the weight's coming from without even realizing it. So
Right.
they've been in the forum doing that. And then we met this week and the discussion was amazing because they're all starting to think just a little bit different. And
Nice.
much more differently than they probably thought they would be
Right.
thinking. And focused on they thought they were going to be talking about weight for 5 weeks. Not so much.
But if that were the issue, it wouldn't be that hard.
It's a symptom.
Right. If that were the issue, we would just, give them a diet and they would follow it and everyone would lose.
Yeah.
And it's not, I was going to say it's not that simple, but it's more simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, let's just be happy today. We're going to choose happy. We're going to choose badass and just watch what sort of transformation happens.
Right. Well,
like
and it's interesting because I put
the loss is the byproduct.
Oh, it is completely. That's just part of, yes. Well, I put in that you can't be insecure and a badass at the same time. You have to choose one. So I put that in the group and it was surprising to me. Everyone was like, well, I want to be a badass, but I'm insecure.
Oh.
And it was like, yes, this is going to be a great topic for discussion. Because badass is different to everybody. Everybody's version of that is different, but we all have it within us. And once they start looking at what their badass looks like and behaving in ways that reflect that back to them, little ways that will turn into big ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me because I know what I would say to that. I know what I would say to this. So I want to know what you would say. If you were going to help if someone said, I'm so insecure, but I want to step into my badass, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to take the first step? What would you say? I'm excited about this because I know what I would say.
I would what does that feel like? What does badass feel like to you? And I would have them explain. And when they say, have excuses maybe for not having an answer, well, I don't know because of this. I would just keep digging into that until they can tell me something badass that they would like to be. And then ask them, how can you practice that today?
Right. Oh, I love it.
So tell me.
You know what I would do? I would ask them, what is it that they can do effortlessly? What is it that they find so easy to do that it is just like they almost don't see it as a gift? And they almost think like, well, can't everyone do this? And I would tell them to do more of that. Because I think what happens, especially as women, but I think in general, we tend to think, I'm good at these things, but I'm not good at that. And so in order to be badass, I'm going to have to fix all of this shit that I'm not good at. And I'm going to need to be perfect at everything. And that's such crap. All we need to do.
That's not badass.
Right.
What do you say? Perfect is not inspiring.
It's not inspiring. But what I feel is what I know to be true is that as soon as people find their gifts and do more of that, their confidence starts to increase. When their confidence starts to increase, now that's badass.
Yeah.
They can walk into a freaking room. Like, I mean, really, if you want to see me on stage and you want to see me talk about feng shui, or you want to see me talk about branding, or you want to see me talk about business, you want to see me talk about mindset or, multi-level marketing companies or whatever I feel really strongest at. If you want to see me stand on stage and talk about that, you'll see badass. if you want to see me stand on stage and talk about gold bullion or technology or climate control, I don't know. I've recently learned a lot about climate control, so I might be able to be badass at that. But like if I started talking about a whole bunch of random shit that I'm not interested in, it's not necessarily the thing that I love so much.
Yeah. There's no
I'm
passion.
gonna feel badass. I'm gonna feel
No.
massively insecure.
Yeah.
I can stand on stage in front of probably thousands of people,
Yeah.
but not talking about technology. It's not
No.
going to happen. And
IT stuff. No.
no, gross. Websites, funnels, blah,
Uh,
strategy, no. Energy, sure. And so that's what I always say. Like, just figure out what you're best at and do more of that.
yeah.
Let
Yeah.
go of the I need to, I should, I have to, all of the stuff that equals guilt,
Yeah.
and just do more of what lights your soul on fire. Do
Yeah.
more of what your gifts are. Do more of what's naturally you. And you inevitably step into badass
In the moment.
in the moment. When you own yourself, I think,
Yeah.
even I remember months and months ago when you were talking about you went to a family function and you were feeling a little bit insecure, and you said to yourself, I can be insecure, I can be a badass. And what did you do? You walked in like who you are right now, your
50-year-old
gifts.
Leigh showed up. Yeah.
50-year-old Leigh showed up with your gifts, your strengths, your thoughts, your attitude. Like the things that make you you. You didn't walk in there talking about physics or I don't know. You know what I mean? Like you showed up as you.
Yeah.
And not as who you used to be, and not as it's like where your gifts are, and you own them. And yeah, badass showed up.
Badass showed up that day. But I will tell you, I've been through phases when I'm learning things that you have to show up even though you're terrified.
Right.
Because you can't get to the auditorium full of people if you can't stand in front of 40 people.
True.
And people get stuck, and I've been in that same position where you get stuck because you don't see how to show up with confidence. And it is one of those things that you have to make a decision. Do I want this or not? That's simple. And either you do or you don't. And sometimes it's easy to wiggle in there, and sometimes there's more resistance. But at the end of the day, you've got to say, what is it that you want?
Right.
And in that instance, it's badass or insecure.
Yeah.
But you want to understand that going in, because when you look at things in those terms, for me, it's like you have these two choices: badass, insecure. What do you want?
Yeah.
That pushes me sometimes to go, well, I'm going to figure this shit out.
Yeah. And you know what? Even if sometimes you thought, okay, today I just need insecure.
Sometimes you do.
Sometimes, yeah. And it's okay. It doesn't have to be wrong. You just want to choose
No.
badass more times than not.
Correct. And you want to choose insecure on some of the things that might not have as much impact on you. Like you don't want to miss an opportunity because you were stuck in insecure mode.
Yep.
Because that's just going to create, like, you're going to look back and go, what the fuck were you doing?
Right.
You didn't show up.
It's so true. Oh my gosh. Well, isn't that cool? What a cool group that you've got going on.
We do have a good group. They're all teaching me so much because their perspectives are also different, and watching them figure things out.
I love coaching so much, because no matter who it is, I feel like I learn as much as they do
Every single
from them.
person. Yeah.
Even I know I've been, I typically work with women, middle-aged women. And so I was speaking with a friend of mine and she's like, okay, thank you so much. You're like my therapist. And also, would you speak with my son? Okay, 18-year-old males, not entirely my niche, but sure. Okay, I'll talk to him. Let's see how this goes. And at the beginning, again, I can choose insecure and badass, I guess, right? Because I could have said this is not who I typically work with. So
Right.
no, but it was a friend of mine, and I thought, like, let's just kick it in the guts and see what happens. It's kind of like, let's just see. And so I started talking to him just a few times, but wow, his perspective as a neurodivergent male, 18 years old, is just so intriguing to me. Like, he talks so deeply and he thinks so much about absolutely everything, and like the impact of today on the next generation. I'm like, holy hell, you're 18 years old. Let's, like, how can we use more of this? Where can we put this energy to good use instead of like over analyzing? And why is he over analyzing this? But it was our conversations, the ones that we have had, I really thought, wow, it gives me a different, unique perspective.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just such a good reminder that like every single person that is in your path is here maybe to teach you something.
Oh, absolutely. No, every single one of them. But all I can think about with that kid is, what is he going to do with that passion?
Oh, I
Because
know.
he can stay over here and worry, or he
Yeah.
can put it to use.
Yeah. It's so interesting. And I think what's most interesting to me is that when we first started talking, he saw it as a detriment. It was like the way that he thinks was a detriment to himself, because he was truly obsessing over
Yeah.
a lot of things, right? He was obsessing over the way that the world was moving and what will happen years from now. And so what we really talked about was, is it a detriment? If you know that this is what your brain does, how can we use it? Right? Like, if we know that this is just the way your brain works, you cannot be victim to it.
Right.
You can just go, oh, this is my analytic mind.
Yeah.
I'm
And
always going to think about ramifications and climate change.
but that's his gift.
Exactly. And I think that unlocked something for him, because previously he was seeing it as such, it was hampering him.
Yeah.
It was harming him. He saw it as not a gift at all. And when we can say, well, knowing that this is what your brain does, this is what your mind goes, now you know that the pattern is coming. Now we can use it.
Yeah. And
Like
the way he's processing it, he needs to divert it. He can still think about those things, but
right.
it's like two ends of the stick, and he's way over here.
Yeah.
Just needs to scooch on over.
Yeah. But it was so interesting, and I really, like, I don't know. Again, it was just like this huge reminder of how every single person's placed in our path
Yep.
to somehow enrich ourselves. I think, and possibly, like, for me, it's all about evolution and growth.
Yeah.
Every single day. How can I evolve? How can I grow? Not that I don't like who I am right now, but so
But
because a lot
learning
of
and
people are like,
growing
oh, you
is,
should just be happy. I am, but I love to just learn more and grow more
yeah.
and evolve more every
Yeah.
single day. Like, and so for me, it was like, okay, who's placed on my path? And let me see what gifts I can uncover today.
Yeah.
So amazing. Coaching is so cool.
Too much fun. Too much fun. And we are out of time.
We are.
Okay. It was a good day.
It was a good day. It's been a good
Thursday.
week.
Enjoy your week. And thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday on the Happy Half Hour. Bye.
Bye.